Over the counter, December 15, 2010. Picture a classic Thanksgiving dinner, when an extended family gathers around a mythically long table. Each seat is filled, and each person can look ahead to see a feast atop tablecloth and a close relative or friend. It's a scene of domesticity and community, something reserved for sitcoms and two perfect households, rife with interpersonal drama, love, hate and all kinds of intimate details. Then cut that table in half lengthwise, and on the side where nobody is sitting, add a kitchen. Now it's a diner counter. Even if everyone at that counter is a stranger eating alone, they are sharing a meal at the same table, with each other, and with the restaurant's employees working in front of them. In a weird way, for the span of one meal, each is part of the other's lives just as if they were relatives at Thanksgiving dinner. My favorite breakfast spot during my years in Berkeley was little more than a breakfast counter. Macris Cafe on University Ave isn't the most popular place around campus, but as someone who enjoys dining alone, I visited frequently, with notepad or newspaper in hand, for some eggs, coffee and uninterested company. Macris had a staff of 2.5. Han, the husband, manned the griddle, too busy to ever turn around. His wife, who dealt with the customers, spoke each order in his ear as their tween daughter, on the busiest days, helped out by refilling coffees and learning how to use the outdated cash register. As husband, wife, and daughter work hard to keep the business afloat, the financial needs of a family working 2 feet from their patrons are part of the process as well. On one hand, it's a bit unnerving, like standing outside of their home window as a cloaked voyeur. On the other hand, I believe that meals have more value when there's a connection between chef, server, and customer, even if that relationship is based only on proximity. It cuts out the middleman and becomes a barter between a hungry stranger and a family business that needs patronage. The awareness of that exchange adds a certain honesty to each bite, and it's that stripped-down style of dining that made Macris my go-to fried egg dispenser in college. In other words, I love breakfast counters. That's why, upon stepping inside Arts Cafe, a restaurant consisting of only one long breakfast counter, I instantly liked what I saw. A tiny storefront sandwiched between bigger buildings on the pedestrian-thick Irving Boulevard, Arts Cafe was easily passed by unnoticed. During weekdays, the long counter would wait, mostly empty for the occasional walk-in. On weekends, a line gathered out front, waiting for the rare vacant stool. Each patron was greeted by the woman, offered coffee, and left to examine the myriad postcards beneath the counter glass, gifts from Art's many fans and a testament to the value of a friendly place to eat. The meal was accompanied by the smell of hot bacon grease, heat from the kitchen, and the percussion of spatulas and frying pans. The main difference between Macris Cafe and Arts Cafe was that the latter was more successful, and the primary reason for that was its food. While Han knew how to fry an egg, the menu at Arts had more to offer, and an efficient kitchen kept customer turnover high. Despite the tiny space, success allowed Arts to hire additional kitchen help and buy better equipment. More rice cookers. Bigger toasters. Cleaner griddles. A website. Macris may have beaten Arts on the Dickensian scoreboard, but when comparing quality, my $5 were better spent on Arts corned beef hash. The black sheep of Arts menu were the hash brown sandwiches, basically quesadillas made with hash browns instead of tortillas. Like the corned beef hash, Arts hash browns were an ultra-thin and surprisingly uniform version of what I would normally expect, which worked perfectly as the casing to your choice of filling. Even if these novelties didn't add up to anything more than the sums of their parts, they were priced to move. Asian influences on the breakfast menu came in the form of white rice and teriyaki, the latter of which featured in one of Art's more popular dishes, the samurai omelette. On the lunch menu, next to burgers and melts, folks could choose from some griddle Korean food as well. When I lived close enough to be a regular, everything I tried at Arts rated at a solid B, decent food made as well as possible with a limited kitchen and cheap ingredients. Arts deserved every bit of the success displayed in postcard form, if not for the food, than for being an above average, mom and pop breakfast counter. Those postcards weren't sent from all over the world to arts for the food, after all. They were sent to the people on the other side of the have Thanksgiving table, because when it comes to breakfast over the counter, family might not be a strong enough a word.